Hey guys, welcome back. It is a crazy Friday, and I've pretty much been staying flat all day. I have a couple of positions that are open that were posted in my room. I'm pretty much out of everything right now except for a lotto trade on the these are all posted in my room, guys. The UVXY. I have a lotto trade on this, and if you don't know what a lotto trade is, basically it is a strangle that is out of the money. So I have the puts and I have the calls. So no matter what direction it goes, one of those sides is going to make money, and as long as it goes past $2 on either side, I will make money. So I got in at around 25.05. So if it drops to 23.05, I will make money. If it rallies beyond 27.05, I will make money. So either one of those two things happens. I don't care which one. I just am happy if one or the other happen. Now, if it really works out and we don't get a trade deal and we shoot up to $40, I'm going to make a boatload of money on that trade. Okay? So that's working. The other trade I have on is I'm still working my J&J trade. Um, and I have puts on this from, I believe, this level right here, 129. I'm not too worried about this as a swing trade. I think it's going to be just fine. I got till November. So that's the only thing I have open right now as we go into the weekend. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video is because I'm bored. Have some time. And I decided I actually had a scan made up of my Algo. Now, if you're not familiar with what my Algo does, I'll just tell you very, very quickly. It does two things. It alerts me to when a stock is overvalued or undervalued. Now, a lot of people like to call this overbought, oversold. It's different, okay? Overvalued is relative to previous price movement, and undervalued is relative to previous price movement. So it's very different than overbought or oversold, okay? Seems like it is, but it's not. And it's represented as an oscillator down here. And so what you're going to do is the chart's going to light up. This is a daily chart right here. It's a 15-minute chart here. When it gets to a potential overvalued situation or over or undervalued situation. And then you have to pair it up with some small amount of volume analysis and hopefully have some resistance or some liquidity at one of those levels in order for it to qualify for a trade. Now, it's super powerful. It just makes boatloads of money if you use it properly, but you got to use it properly. So what I did was I just want to go through and show you guys some basic examples. I'm just going to pull up random charts here, so you can see here's the situation with J&J. Again, this is a daily chart. You can see J&J was at 148. It had bad news. It gets into an undervalued situation, and the chart lights up. So it starts lighting up after this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle. Like, again, I said, you can't use it in a vacuum. You have to be at some either previous support, some resistance, or you have to be at some liquidity level, and you have to do some volume analysis along with, you just can't jump in, right? You have to let the market prove to you that it wants to bounce or reject off of that level. So you can see here, as this lights up, we get this down candle, slight green candle, down candle, down candle, down candle, down candle, down candle. Finally, right there, boom. Now, it's on a daily chart, okay? So this is telling me if I were to go back and look for previous resistance or support at this level, along with some quick volume analysis, as I'm not going to get into right now. But as we came down this big volume spike here, and this rejection here was on relatively decent volume. Now, this is a relative volume. This is not volume, so it's a completely different thing that I will teach you how to use. You can see here, I get a candle here, and it triggers at 126.92, and just watch the reaction here. And by the way, J&J is going through a lawsuit. The other thing that you're going to see here is these boxes. Now, what this box is telling me is that the market has compressed and it's getting ready to make a big move. So whenever we break out of one of these boxes, it usually will move for quite a big move in the direction of the breakout. So let's just see what happens here. And you can see it gets into an undervalued situation again, and off we go. So decent little situation there. It takes a while, but that just keeps moving right out of that. So now I get another box here telling me that another move is potentially coming. It breaks out to the top side there, but you get the idea. So there's one situation where it made a really nice move, took a little while, but worked out well. So what about this one? So now we get down to another undervalued situation. We pick up some liquidity here, we pick up some liquidity here, and we have some support here. So anything around here is going to be a good trade for me. I just need to get some type of candle confirmation. Now, I really don't get any real decent candle until this move here. But you can see, with a very high volume, which is what I want to see, boom, we go straight back up and we take out this liquidity here. We get some rejection here. And if you would have taken a trade there, short, that wouldn't have been terrible. Now, it didn't work out too well, but I still would have fired again after this rejection candle here. That would have been a second trade for me, and down we go. We pick up lower liquidity, we get rejection at lower liquidity, and off it goes. These are daily charts, guys, right? So you don't have to catch these big moves, right? But if you do, that's wonderful. I just want to show you that you can actually just trade it on a one-day basis. For example, what I would do in a situation like this, if all the stars were aligned, after I saw that candle right there, I'd just take it for one day, right? Assuming some other things were aligned. Number one, we recently had some earnings, so that would be kind of problematic to me, but this big relative volume candle right here was enough for me to take that. And I could just hold that for one day, okay? So, just this, what you're seeing here, test. This is basically just a scan that I did, that I created to find these daily trades that are absolutely beautiful. Okay, you can see down here, same thing. We get to an undervalued situation. It bounces here, small reaction here. You get a reaction. You're not always going to get a big move. But usually, if you wait for some structure, you wait for some support and resistance, you're going to get a decent move. So here's a very good example where we come back up here. We get really nice rejection with really high volume. We also have some divergence on this right here. And you can see this move just takes off to the races, goes back down to this support level right here. We get a reaction at that support level and off it goes. Another one up here, we take out liquidity. There's a reaction down here, come down here, pick up some liquidity here, and off we go to the races here. It doesn't work out too well, and now we're pressing into another overvalued situation on Apple. So this is showing me that if I scan for these, I can find these. Here's a beautiful one on AMBA. We come down to a nice support level right here. Boom, off we go. Right. These are just the current scans that are firing right now. Here's one. You look at AMTD. I mean, this thing just getting beaten up, and there was no support or good value down here, but it still works, right? AZN, let's see what we got going on here. It bounced off of this level right here. BK, I don't know if I would have taken that trade because I really don't have enough here. I would have definitely taken this trade short up here. Okay, BP, let's see here. And there, BX. This one would have been great. I definitely would have picked this one up off of this liquidity level right here. I would have got long for a trade right there for sure. COM. Let's see here. Now these are going to scan every day. I'm just showing you what's available today and how the reaction. Many of these actually triggered a day or two ago, but they didn't have the other criteria, which you need volume and you also need a rejection candle of some sort. So let's see here. This one would have been beautiful. This one I would have been all over CVX right here. You can see here on CVX. We pick up a nice liquidity here. We get a huge volume rejection candle. Now it takes a few days. It takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. But you know, you buy some options contracts, and that's easily a double, if not a triple, on your money. Okay, DAL. CVX and DAL would probably be ones that I would have been all over. Let's see here. Not so much that one. DDS. Okay, so here's one that's coming into an overvalued situation, and you can see here we pick up some liquidity here with some resistance. Now obviously this candle's really strong right now, so I wouldn't touch that. I'd have to wait until I can get a few other conditions that are going to happen here. Wouldn't touch that one. That one's pretty epic, right? EWG. It's going to scan everything, including some. Now here's another beautiful one. I mean, look at this. This is just absolutely gorgeous, right? See this signal right here? We pick up this liquidity. We hit this support right here and this liquidity here. We get into an undervalued situation. The relative volume isn't great, but the size of that rejection candle is really big, so I would definitely probably be all over that. HYG, here's another one that would have been absolutely brilliant. This candle right here, I probably would have been all over that as well too. I just loaded this scan, by the way, guys. You know, I'm saying I would be. Why aren't you, Steve? Because I just got the scan loaded today. I just got it completed and loaded today. Let's take a look here. I don't know if I would have touched that 3M. I don't think I would have taken MU either. That's really bad earnings. OKE, I probably definitely would have taken that one. I wouldn't have touched that one. Okay, here's another one that's getting into an overvalued situation on PSI. So do I have resistance right here? Yes, I do. I've got a level right there. I've also picked up this liquidity and this liquidity off of this bounce here, and I'm getting into an overvalued situation. So what I would want to see, I'd want to see that candle close, you know, relatively at the lows. And if that were to close at the lows, what I would do is I would buy some options, put options, and there's two ways you can do it. You can just buy the put option and you can say, well, I'm all in for like 1.5% risk and just ride it out in that case. Or what you can do is you can use a stop above the high, and in some cases I'll do that if I like the trade well. If I like the trade enough, I'll use a stop above the high. So instead of just doing a 1.5 option on unlimited, so just either expires worthless or I double my money, I can say, okay, well, I'm going to buy 1 or 2%, 1.5%, but I'm going to use a 108.25 stop, in which case I would get out of my options trade at 108.25. Starbucks. This is another one that if I would have seen it, I would have been all over it. I probably would have been long off of this candle right here. It's not working that great, but still would have worked out okay. I'm just being completely honest with you. I'll tell you if there's ones that I will not take. Here, the Charles Schwab. This one I'm definitely taking. My students will understand based on the order flow off of this candle right here. I would have got long off of that candle there. Now it would have gone underwater, but it ended up working. SLB, nah. STZ, it's questionable. SU, definitely not. And XLE, you can see here we have a lot of oil names that are, or energy names that are kind of clicking along. Now this works also on a smaller time frame, as you can see here. Boom, off we go, boom, down we go, boom, off we go. This will probably end up coming back down. It works on all time frames, but I find that it works really powerful on daily time frames. So the scan can be set up for anything, but you can see here, here's the spider. So let's look at this. Let's look at these last three examples on the spider. Screw that. Let's look at all four. Okay. So here we get down to an undervalued situation. We get a rejection candle and just boom. Here we get into an overvalued situation. You might say, well, Steve, why not short there? Because there's no support and resistance there, right? And also, look at the relative volume. It's like nothing. Right, so definitely would not have touched that. When we get up to this level right here, then we get a rejection candle. Now, and I've got relative volume associated with it. Look at that. Now, it ends up reversing. But just as a one-day trade, you can make a lot of money on that, right? I mean, then it gets back up here. Again, I don't really have too much up here. Maybe I do. I don't know. I don't see. See if I go to a larger time frame here. Let's see if I go to a 2-year. Yeah, it's questionable. I really don't have too much in that situation. We're at new all-time highs, so I probably would not have taken that in all honesty, right? But even if you take that one candle, like usually as soon as you get this overvalued signal and you have some relative volume attached to it, the next day is going to work out beautifully. So you can see here we come back down. Here's our rejection candle, and I've got some relative volume as a one-day trade. Boom, it works out beautifully. Get back up here. We're at resistance again. Boom, there's a candle right there. Now it takes a little while, right? But that ends up working out nicely. Now just take a look here. Boom, get back down, pick up this liquidity here. There's my rejection, right? And there's my relative value. And boom, this trade the next day just works out beautifully. It comes down, next day goes higher. Now I fundamentally I have a bearish bias right now on the SPY. So I wouldn't have taken that trade just because the fundamentals, when you combine this with other things, it's going to work really well. Okay, so it's all ready to go here, guys. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm just showing you the scans for the for the under and overvalued situations. These boxes really have a whole different use for them, and I'm not going to touch in on that right now. But needless to say, loving this, absolutely love this scan. We just picked up some liquidity right here. Here's a very good example that if I were to get an overvalued situation right here, in this context, I would probably take a short at this level. And here you can see, notice where my cursor is right here. You see right at this level on a smaller time frame, I did get to that level, and on a smaller time frame, I did show some rejection. Now, I didn't take that trade because right now I don't want to add, because we're in a risk-off environment with the China trade deal, and I just want to be strangling the market right now. I don't want to have too many open puts or call bias until I see what happens at the end of this weekend. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. As usual, what do you call it? As usual, the room was pretty good today. I didn't do a lot. I just did a lot of talking. I gave away some real gold and some real wisdom in the room today because I was bored. And hopefully there's more gold and more wisdom in this video, and you guys will love it. If you want to buy this Algo kit and these indicators from me, reach out to Carolyn on my website, or add me on Skype at SSP Trader. It's currently being sold on here for $1,000, but I'm not doing that anymore. I was going to do a group class on it, but you can now buy the indicator for $4.99. The package, it's going to come with 1 hour of training on how to use it. That will be a video. No, that hasn't changed yet, but it will change. Okay, so $4.99 is way too cheap. I can't do that. I've got to charge more for that. I think what I'm going to do is just I'll do some specials on it. If you're listening to this right now, you can have it for $4.99 plus 1 hour of coaching, but I think it's going to go to $800. I think that's the price that I have to keep it at. If you want it, reach out, contact me or Carolyn, or add me on Skype. My Skype is SSP Trader, not SSP Trading, SSP Trader, or contact Carolyn on our customer service at Steve Patterson and ask about that. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Bored this afternoon, so made this video. Bye for now.